Hey guys, what's up? Game Pizza Boy here, host of the Pizza Party. Good to see you all. Welcome back to another gaming news video. And in today's video, I kind of want to discuss a little bit something about an upcoming game that is going to be out in just a few days. I'm not getting it right now anytime soon due to everything that's been happening with it as of late. And I just kind of wanted to discuss my thoughts on it and kind of give a little mention recap on everything we've known about so far, how this game has been handled so far. And obviously kind of see some of the thoughts that people have been having, including also I'll be giving my thoughts of how I feel about this game the most, that why I'm kind of holding off on this game right now to get to play for some time now, and that is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now this game, hands down, whether you decide you want to get it or not, it's your choice, but I gotta say though that it's a very tough time to see that this game is dealing with a lot of negativity from a lot of people about this game. I mean, with all the recent leaks that's been happening and all the recent stuff that's been popping up, but yet I still know there's a lot of people who are just trying to praise the game as possible, because after all, this is being worked on by Rocksteady, who worked on the Batman Arkham franchise, and obviously just being a very exciting game, of course, that people have been wanting to see after the place for some time after it was announced. So it was pretty exciting for us to finally get a chance to enjoy something like this, and now it's in early access, so people are getting a chance to try it out before the few days come up when the game's gonna be out for everyone. So I just want to kind of just do this as kind of my thoughts about the situation, my personal thoughts, but I also want to just kind of make this like a recap of what we all known so far and kind of give you guys an explanation of why Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is in a situation where people can be really excited for the game, but also very negative on it. So we got to definitely kind of cover this for sure. So let's get right into it. But before we begin, as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, comment down below, let me know your thoughts about this game, and please don't forget to subscribe. I would appreciate your support very much indeed. Now, let's get right into it, and let's go ahead and talk about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, before we begin jumping in, like I said, this is early access, so we don't really have much to say right now until the game at least comes out. But I at least want to discuss this because this whole topic about the live server stuff has kind of just got to me a lot, and I want to kind of just give my thoughts on situations. So here's everything what we can expect when we talk about the live server stuff that's going on right now and just kind of how we feel about the situation. Now, one thing I will mention, though, that I want to relate this also quickly just to the game Payday 3, for example, which is a prime example of a game that a lot of people were excited for when it was announced, only for it to be swept under everyone's feet like that just because of the many decisions that went behind the development of the game leading up to its release. But more specifically, of it being a live service game, because that game in Payday 2 had an offline mode. So if anything happened to the servers or you didn't have internet, you could still find a way to play the game offline. But with Payday 3, they got rid of that. So you have to play online with internet or if the server stays sustainable. Otherwise, even if you try to play on your own with AI, you're not going to get a chance to play the game at all, which to me is one of the biggest reasons why it's so hard to deal with live service games a lot. So that's the problem with this stuff right now that we are dealing with at this very moment. Now, let's go over real quick this article. I got two articles right here, which I will put both link in the description, one from Polygon and one from PC Gamer, where they will go over quickly what's happening with the early access right now as it's been quickly taken down due to a recent bug that was happening, which is even more annoying because, again, since the fact it's a live service game, no one's able to play this until the bug's fixed, which I think it is, but it just shows a very tough stuff. And also, apparently, how a dev apparently mentions in his own eyes the fact that despite the game being a live service, that they still respect players' time because they love playing games, but they also have lives to live and stuff like that. And I want to kind of go over this stuff pretty much as well. So I really want to make sure we go over that for sure and go through the information as possible right now completely. So let's go over it and let's discuss this right now real quick. So here we go from Polygon. Here's everything we know about this game right here, about it being taken down. Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game launches and is quickly taken down. Players have booted up the game to discover they already completed the story. Yep, there's a bug right now that's affecting it. Rocksteady Studios' first big game in nearly a decade is off to a rough start. Players who have early access to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League started the game today and were presented with a big surprise. Upon logging in for the first time, they had full story completion. That massive bug, which would conceivably unlock certain game features and open the floodgate of story spoilers forced Rocksteady to quickly take the game offline to perform maintenance. On Rocksteady's official Twitter/X account, they announced that from the developer said it's aware that a number of players are currently experiencing that issue. As it works on the bug, the game will be unavailable. We expect this to take several hours and will update once we have information, the developer said. We apologize for the inconvenience. Suicide Squad is an always online game, meaning that even the single player portion of the game is unplayable, which here's a tweet which we'll go over, including looking at some comments. And Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League officially launches on February 2nd, but customers who pre-order the game on Deluxe Edition get 72-hour early access of it. That early access period now appears to have caused Rocksteady some extra grief, as a word who spreads that the publisher Warner Bros. Games did not provide pre-release review code to media outlets. Publications like IGN ran stories over the weekend, knowing that the publisher had opted to send out review code until the game's service go live, or not at all in the case of IGN, which ran a negative leaning preview of the game ahead of launch. Polygon also did not receive a code ahead of Suicide Squad's launch. Rocksteady's journey to bring Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League to life has been a challenging one, beset by delays, major story leaks, blowback over the game's live service multiplayer focus, and the unwelcome revival of certain characters from the Batman Arkham games. Now, this is one of the big reasons why I mentioned how much I really hate live servers, because again, with the fact that if anything happens to servers, or like if a bug happens in the servers that need to take it down for a reason, at least when it's not live servers, you still can be able to play the game. You could still enjoy it. But this is nuts to me about one of the reasons why live service games is not the way to go for gaming right now. I mean, look at this. The fact a bug, and not just any bug, a bug that managed to get the full completion of the story, the full completion of them, so they have access to already certain game features and open the floodgates again to story spoilers. On top of what the recent leaks have happened, now it's just trying to ruin the fun for a lot of people. And this is a bug that's happening. A bug. That is crazy that just happened right out of the blue. So that's pretty nuts right there. And well, again, the developers are working on it, and I think they have fixed it, which we'll see in a tweet soon. It shows exactly how pretty crazy this is and how nuts as a whole that this is going for this reason. I mean, it's just crazy how this happens right now. Now, one of the most suspicious things I want to mention right now, especially when I was reading this, is that they did mention that not many of these articles and outlets from media did not get a review code. Typically, many of these get review codes. Now, IGN is pretty obvious because they did make a negative leaning preview of the game, like completely. Like they actually did. And literally, and obviously with that kind of happening before the game's launch, stuff like that, it kind of left a very nasty impressions hole right there. I'm not going to read into it, but you guys can easily find it. I'll put in the link in the description below if you guys, as well, if you guys want me to, if you want to go read it yourself. But yeah, it's a lot to kind of go for that reason right there, that why they wouldn't get it. But the fact that many of these guys, including Polygon, did not also receive a review code ahead of Suicide Squad's launch kind of shows that there is a little bit of some suspicion going on right now. I would say the fact that these guys can't even review and give their thoughts out completely on the game, and that's already a big red flag as a whole, to not as a way to let these guys, you know, like these articles and these medias, to warn people about these games on their thoughts on it ahead of time before buying the game or before deciding to refund it or something like that. So it's already suspicious as it is right now as a whole. Now, on to the next article for PC Gamer. Here's one where they, again, this one they made right here involving specifically that about 2 days ago, before the early access came out. But this is something about more based on the other leaks. I want to kind of give my thoughts on this situation. I just want to kind of read about and give you guys my situation, how I feel about this. So this article states that Suicide Squad dev says despite being a live service game, it will respect players' time because we all love playing games, but we also have lives. We want this game to be generous, both with your time and with all the features we have to offer. It feels like the internet's already made up its mind about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League to the degree that I can't imagine it receiving any kind of fair response when it launches on February 2nd. It's become a symbol of anything wrong with live service games, which is a reputation I imagine Rocksteady is eager to get ahead of. One way that's been happening is in Q&As on the official Discord server for Suicide Squad, where developers have been answering questions about things like its battle pass, seasonal content, endgame, and multiplayer, all the stuff that are very important. And yes, also there's also, I forgot to mention, in the leaks it was found that it was also a battle pass too. So yeah, Yeah, it had a Battle Pass. The answers have been fairly promising for starters. The Battle Pass will only hand out cosmetics and premium currency rather than anything game altering, and it won't be banished to the Phantom Zone once a season ends. So that's one thing, though, I will give credit at least when this was announced in the Q&A very much. I'm kind of happy that this is kind of actually something that's mentioned, because typically a lot of these Battle Passes go away permanently and you can't get them again. So something like this is pretty nice. I actually wish all these games would do something like that, even though I doubt that, because they want to make sure people just make it as a first, quickly get it before it's too late kind of situation for money. And the fact that it's just cosmetics, so I'm not too worried about the Battle Pass situation, of course, as much, but still, it was a red flag at first for the Battle Pass completely as a whole. But as studio director Darius Sagian, if I pronounced it right, sorry if I put your name right there, your last name right there, he said, you will be able to go back and play previous Battle Passes after a season ends. We believe that our team has created some of the best looking cosmetics items ever, and we want those to be available for all our players to enjoy without fear, and that they'll miss out on anything. That's awesome. You'll also be able to replay the 2 episodes added with each season, which Sagan described as including new gear, including an infamy set theme around an iconic DC villain, new missions, and new boss fights for the low price of, you guessed it, free. That's fantastic for the Battle Pass. So that's one good thing I will give it credit for release right there. That's not so egregious. That seemed pretty fair to me. So I'm happy by that decision, for at least for the Battle Pass. On the subject of how much of Suicide Squad is playable solo, is apparently the whole enchilada, which is the point where I'm going to talk about this. Quoted, all the content and missions we have in the game can be played solo or any group configuration, said the game director Axel Rydby. Adding that if the 4th player in your 4-player squad couldn't make it because they have the audacity to have a life outside the game, it won't stop the rest of you from playing if you choose to keep going. Rydby went on to emphasize that we all love playing games, but we also have lives, sort of, and that's been a big part of design philosophy making this game. We don't want the game to feel like a life commitment or be a game where you have to sacrifice a lot to see all the content on offer, or feel like you're not making a good progress in the game if you can't play hundreds of hours. We want this game to be generous, both with your time and with all the features we have to offer. One of the frustrating things about live service games is that they gate stuff you want behind the higher levels of a season pass. Even if you pay for the premium version, then take it away when the next season rolls around. It's a relief to hear Suicide Squad won't be doing that, and that it won't be forcing me to play with friends and when I mostly play games to get away from people. The answers don't do anything to reassure me about Suicide Squad's other issue, however, which is that it's a looter shooter. Rocksteady's Arkham games were designed around letting you do things Batman would do, to the point where they make you feel like Batman became a cliche. Suicide Squad, by contrast, seems to be bending its character to fit an existing genre, giving every member of the kids cast guns and a traversal method whether it suits them or not. Suicide Squad will be out on February 2nd. Now, this is where my problem comes by with the quote very much, because while I can agree with like the situation about like how it's like a loose shooter, which reminds me of like Marvel's Avengers that were trying to do this, and they're just doing the same thing again like they did with Gotham Knights. And also the concern about obviously the Battle Pass, stuff like that, which they did clip that pretty well. But the whole problem I mean right now with the live server stuff, and honestly, one of the directors, the game directors, Axel, right there, didn't really clear it up very well for me, in my opinion, when it comes to dealing with this live server stuff. It feels kind of off-putting to me that he just mostly talks about how, like, oh, you still play a solo, you play with a certain amount of people, however you like, stuff like that, but yet doesn't give, like, concern about the fact that people are trying to worry is, like, people who don't have internet connection, or good internet connection, or just the fact that they just, like, the servers just get down. Like, they never answer that at all. It's a very big concerning for this reason why a lot of us don't like live service games, because of this very exact reason. Because if you have terrible internet connection, or you have no internet connection at all, or your server or the server's just shut down, the game becomes unplayable. Like, that's the reason why a lot of people just don't like these live service games, especially games that it still depicts some kind of single player option, but yet said you still have to have a priority to need to have internet connection. It's just not right at all, and it hurts the situation, especially with that bug that happened that just made everything like nearly spoil the whole story already as it is for people who just started the game. Because now with that reason, it just they had to shut down the game briefly for a moment to fix it. And sure, it's early access. A lot of bugs will happen. That's expected very much for sure. But that's a bad start in my opinion. It was a bad start indeed. It's very rough to see that a game like this, and everyone was anticipating for it, gets kind of, and people who have early access are getting a chance to get the reviews out and try the game out for a little bit and kind of get a little explanation on it, only to be cut off by a bug that just nearly tried to spoil the entire story on them with a lot of stuff. And then the devs had to just completely take the game away from them for a brief moment. So this is why I'm just so nervous by this game. This is why I encourage everyone to please hold your money if you're about to buy this game or pre-order right now. Just hold on for a second. And anyone who's about to get the game, if you're seeing this happen, I would recommend probably think about if you're going to still keep the game or refunding. Again, it's your choice. But this is very concerning for the fact that how this game is happening as a whole. It's really not good. Like, it's very rough to see happening as a whole that this game was so anticipated, and the next thing you know it, with all these announcements happening, these leaks, it's got a lot of people worried about it. And now with the early access happening, now we're seeing it kick in action right now as a demonstration of that. Because even without that bug, if the servers were still that bad, even without the concerning of that bug, that still goes to show you how very scary that is for anyone who could just go into the game and expect to have fun, only to the servers just be completely shut down, and then there goes your chance to enjoy that $60 game you paid for, and you have to wait hours, if not a day or so, depending on the problems that the servers have, just to play the game completely. So here we are on Twitter right now. This is the official page right here to show exactly everything that you expected for this game right here. So obviously this is the tweet that was mentioned earlier in one of the articles right here, when they announced that they know about the awareness of the bug right here and that they're fixing it. Now, they did just announce it that it's already fixed. So if we look right over here, they resolved it. But if we look at the tweets, you could see how very, very upset people are about the situation right now. And I just want to kind of point out a few of these right now. So this guy mentioned, this is why games have offline modes. How many times do these companies have to learn the same lesson? So you can see how pretty bad that is a whole, that this is happening. And you can see these guys trying to prove that point. This guy posted this one here saying that offline needs to be a top priority. And this video popped up, and this is what happens right here. You see? And immediately, just completely as a whole, it's about, and this is not, and this guy's posting from actually a live stream from Batman Arkham Videos, by the way. Batman Arkham Videos posted. There's this logo right there, and in fact, there's this logo right there, so credit to him right there. Always really good videos. But you can see what I mean by that. That shows how pretty poor that is. Like, the fact that you could just get in the game and look at that. Like, his connection looked fine to me. It wasn't look like it was lagging at all. And next thing you know it just freezes on him right there. And then it says the server's just shut down like this. And it just says right here, sorry for our inconvenience in the maintenance mode. Please visit Warner Bros. Games for service updates. And this was probably happening when the bug was happening. So that must have just been kicked in right. But think about like that reason right there, by the way. And this is a bug that doesn't affect the entirety of these servers. This is a bug that was just happening that was about to ruin the story as a whole. And they had to completely shut down the servers for everyone just to fix this one bug. Can you imagine trying to play through a game, even especially for me as a streamer, for everyone who is a streamer or content creator, imagine trying to get content and stream this game only for that to happen on you on your stream, and you have to wait hours until it's fixed. Like, that's just nuts to me. At least when it's a multiplayer game, most definitely, it makes sense. But when this game has single-player aspects, there should be an offline mode for a reason right there. So, as you can see, a lot of people were not happy by this. Even also trying to make comments about saying they didn't send out review codes as well to the other media, which is crazy. You could see right now a lot of people are just, they're pretty fucking pissed by this. They really don't like the fact that this is happening right now. And they blame very much Warner Bros. Leadership, which honestly, even though I say I'll blame everyone for this, they definitely have to agree. I have to blame very much the very executives above, so WB Games, for doing all this stuff. It was just not looking good. People are not happy by this, seeing how this game is going right now. I mean, people were really off of it. When I heard this news, I was like shocked beyond belief by this happening. So it was pretty crazy. This is also pretty rough. So I mean, sure, it's early access, but this was just a minor bug for just the reason of something that was causing a problem with the story that was got to spoil something, which I understand and I had to fix that. But that's a bad start. That also demonstrates the reason why a lot of people don't like live service games. They don't want us to have to deal with playing a game where they could be cut off if a server is happening. Because a lot of people who play these games, including myself, have good internet connections. So we don't have any internet issues barely whatsoever. It only might happen is if like if our products are just shut down, like the connectors to our main internet, or storms go off, you know, something like that, very much. But most of us here have good connections, so the only thing that would help hinder us is the servers just shutting down or something else happening, which for a live service game, it can happen. They identified the problem that was affecting player profiles and are currently testing a fix. We hope to implement it and have the game back online as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. And obviously, even though this does get cleared up, which is nice, I think that pretty much that a lot of people have a lot of stuff to say as well. A lot of people, same guy who posted that video, mentioned 9 hours and counting where people have been unable to play the game. This is why you guys should have done an open beta and see the game's review before launch, so they can find and address these issues before launch, which I do agree, because I think there was no beta for this game at all. I can't remember. I mean, at least I don't know of it. And yeah, with the fact that these the big medias did not get any review copies of these games, just to kind of get things with information, stuff like that, it's already bad start as is. I think you should refund a part of the deluxe price, because it's not 72 hours of early access anymore. And honestly, I can understand that he's not wrong by this, how this feeling right there. Imagine if it wasn't forced to be online. Yeah, you could see a lot of people are not happy by this, and it's one of the most concerning reasons why someone like myself, Elf, and many others are always saying that it's better just to really hold off on this stuff. Don't get this game, or any game comes out day one pre-order, unless you absolutely sure you want to handle dealing with these problems yourself and you're willing to get these reviews out and all that stuff. For me, like, I probably would take that risk myself sometimes, but I would rather not. So I'm just a very safety kind of guy, and most of these guys do these for me, these outlets. But this already gives me a red flag as is to not pre-order or buy this game just yet, knowing that the fact that even the outlets did not get a review copy. IGN's one thing, like I mentioned, but this, with the fact that everyone else pretty much didn't get this, is already kind of a very suspicious thought to me. The fact that we can't even hear any reviews, let alone that there's not even a single beta that came out for this game for people to test out first before the game's release, to give input on and address any issues to discuss with what problems need to be fixed. So it's very concerning for that reason that we are even in this pattern right now with this game, and it's already showing a bad sign for the future for Suicide Squad. Again, the game is coming out on February 2nd, and we have that time at least to see what happens, and hopefully when it happens, we'll see the reviews come out and all that stuff, because I'm still going to look at that. And I encourage everyone who hasn't bought the game, who hasn't pre-ordered the game like me right now, wait for the reviews. This is one bad thing as it is, but most importantly, wait for the reviews. Listen to the reviews, hear the critics, hear the customers who are going to do this for you. Watch your favorite content creators, give their input on it, do all that stuff, and let them know the shit that's going on. And point this out to your friends, your family that you know are gamers out there, big gaming fans. And let's hope for the best that we can see some progress for this for sure, because it is not great, the fact that we're seeing how this goes. And I'm starting to feel like this might be a bad start art as it is. And it could be a bad start again with the launch. So, it's looking pretty grim for this game right now, and for Rocksteady, especially because of WB Games, what's been going on. It's just unfortunate what we have to see right now in this game's launch. And, well, not launch, but early access, but you still want to know what I'm talking about. It's just, it's a very scary thought to think about what these games can go for. And I encourage right now as a message to Rocksteady, and I hope you guys please definitely share this out to Rocksteady, share to everyone to share this out, and I hope everyone does the same thing too. If you guys are making videos yourself or talk about this on your streams, aims, or you simply want to be a speak out on this stuff, go spread this idea out. We need to tell Rocksteady, we need to tell Warner Bros. Games that they need to add offline mode. They need to stop this live service stuff right now, and every game company needs to see that too as well. The idea of live service games should not be implemented in any shape or form whatsoever, honestly, anymore. Because as much as it's really cool to have online related stuff, and I know the point of that is to help keep things capable of protecting the game from pirates and other related cheaters and stuff like that, But we need to do better than that, at least, to prevent this stuff, because it doesn't help out with that all the time, let alone even also just because you guys want to make this a trick to get more money very easily and stuff like that. We also need to make sure that we at least don't restrict people to the idea that internet needs to be the main focus all the time. Yes, we're all connected to the internet pretty much all the time now. Everyone is connected to the internet as much as possible. But when I mean by everyone, I mean everyone that can at least make it to that point. Not everyone can afford it, and it's expensive and to pay for a lot of internet. And not only that, though, that even if people have internet, the problem with live service games is that it can also be an issue with the servers. The same thing I can mention once again with Payday 3. The servers shut down, do maintenance, and people get cut off from the game, and there's no other way to play it. You can't play until the servers are back. There's no offline mode anymore like Payday 2, for example, and you're forced to basically have to wait in order to get back on to play Payday 3. So the same thing applies here. If this still represents the same situation, people are not going to have a good time. This is $60, if not $70 for the deluxe edition, completely down the drain, because people won't be able to enjoy the game fully to its extent because the devs don't want to allow people to play it offline. So that means either they have to have good connection and be patient with the server, or you're lost. That's just not the way we need to see for gamers. Gamers should be able to buy the game and get what they want and enjoy everything the full experience with no issues. I mean, with single-player games, if there were some issues, it would be aware of with some patch and stuff like that. With multiplayer stuff, that's where the whole big enchilada of like problems will come by very much indeed. But at least when it comes to server issues, like when you play like Destiny, for example, at least that makes sense because it's always going to be a multiplayer game. You're always going to run into players. You're always going to do a lot of online stuff with friends most of the time, even if you're with a lobby, a squad, or not. So in this equivalent right here with single player, it should not be the one relating to that whatsoever. It shouldn't. And even if many multiplayer games will have single player options, you shouldn't be restricted to just having online connection just to be able to play these games. Again, this is just my opinion of the situation. This is just how I feel about my love and passion for games and how I feel about when you play single player games compared to multiplayer games. And this is one reason why I want to talk about this, because I was super anticipating to play this game, and I'm starting to feel a little bit off-putting now that I don't even know if I want to get it. It's not fair. It's just not fair, in my opinion, to the gamers out there, the people who paid the game. And it's not even fair to the developers, too, who worked hard on the game. Because as much as I blame everyone at the table, I still blame some of the executives over at Warner Brothers Games the most. They're the reasons who probably rushed the development of the game, for deciding these features, stuff like that, for these reasons, probably for money or just because of their awareness of pirates and stuff like that, or anything else in general. It's just a lot to say the least, and hopefully for the best. I'm hoping at least that we will see in the future that things will get better for this game when it comes out. I at least hope so. So who knows? Only time will tell. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Comment below and tell me your thoughts. I'd like to get some discussions on this. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel again. Yeah, I hope for the best things to get better for this game, because if this at least could just get better when it comes to launch, I will be so happy at least. And I know if the reviews are worth it, and I will just go ahead and come by to get the game soon and be ready for that, because it's a game I've been most anticipating for. And with everything, I'm not even sure I'm going to touch the game anytime soon, let alone even if I want to, even if it gets like on a discount or not. So who knows? Only time will tell, of course, but we'll see. But I encourage people to, for those who are not getting the game right now, keep that holding and just wait and see, and we'll find out what happens. And for everyone who does get the game, I hope best it still gets worth for you guys, for you to spend your money. Otherwise, if it ain't, I hope best you guys can get your refunds out as soon as possible. Otherwise, I just hope best Rockstar can make the most for you guys for the game. Otherwise, it's just kind of disappointing that what they've done to the game so far, and what Warner Brothers Games has probably done to Rockstar to make these games. And only time will tell what happened. But anyway, with that being said, guys, I love you all. Keep being awesome. Keep on partying. And I'll see you guys next time here with the Pizza Party. Take care, my friends.